beautiful angels. Welcome to my channel. We're looking at 1001 OH cards. So I'll put the link to the website below. They're psychological cards. I will be using them as oracle cards. And if you guys are interested in the collection of these, I do have the flip through for most of the decks, which I will link the playlist to this video for you guys. And these decks don't come with guidebooks, so I mean, these definitely could be a little more challenged to feel confident in what you're sort of pulling through when you're channeling, but there's no wrong answer. So I don't know how many cards come in here. It should say on the website. Like I said, I will link that below so you can take a look, but let's see. So one thing about these boxes is the way that they make them kind of difficult to open because the lid is so much bigger. 1001. Wow. So quite a bit. Well, let's take a look. And as usual, let's energetically sort of charge these cards so that I can use your energy here when we do future readings. We will do a mini reading with these at the end of this video. So 1001. I'm not sure what the topic is here. It looks like a lot of paintings. So let's see here. Drawings, I should say. Can I hold it here and you can see? I'm going to hold it here for you to see. This looks like pencil crayon drawings, a lot of these. Interesting. I'm getting a lot of biblical sort of stories pulling through in my mind with a lot of these pictures. Look at this giant, as I say, biblical. Interesting. Flying carpet. Well, that's sort of trippy on my eyes. Two shoes. Is that a ukulele? What sort of guitar is that? Beautiful art. Don't know what's hidden in that cave. Donkey. Genie. Wow. So I don't know if this is evoking any sort of energy from you guys or from within. Wow. Lots of Arabic sort of energy. This guy's hunting. Monkeys in a tree. This looks like a hidden stairwell. Okay, wow, these are a lot different than the other ones. So let's see what sort of message pulls through with these 1001 cards. So as usual, this messaging isn't going to be for everyone. Don't force it to fit. Don't take messages that aren't resonating for you, but we'll ask Spirit, what is it that Spirit wants you to know, beautiful viewer, right here, right now? What is it that is pulling through here energetically that needs to be communicated to you at this time? Spirit, please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good. Thank you so much, viewer, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. What are you needing to know right here, right now? What is this message about? I feel the one on the bottom. I feel one more. Two more? Okay. Wow. Let's take a look. All these archways. What is that thing there? Like a little fire pit of sorts. what is this? It looks like a, those pharaoh coffins. It kind of looks like that, but it's like floating in the water here. That's interesting. And here we have desert scene. And here we have I don't know if this is from a ship, the cast of the ship that's abandoned, or sort of like, I don't know, abandoned. And we have the two shoes that I said were making my eyes cross-eyed. The two Arabic shoes. Okay. Whoa, I totally just saw an orb here. That's interesting. Wow, that was a very bright orb. Okay, so let me tap into this energy of what's going on here. I might have to talk my way through this one because this one seems a little bit difficult for me to challenge or to channel. It's a little challenging. What is it here, Spirit? So we see shoes. Shoes could be talking about step-by-step movements. These shoes are backwards. I think there's something unresolved in the past that might need to be looked at or understood before we can move forward. Now, we can always move forward. That's the message, for one. We don't have to resolve anything of the past. The past is the past is the past. Although, energetically, if we're still tied, we believe it to be holding us back or down. And so, therefore, there's something in the past here I feel that is preventing us from engaging in the present moment or making movement towards the future here. So what is it about the past that is going on over here? I feel like there's something that's still sort of preserved energetically that might be something that needs to be laid to rest. Okay, that needs to be closed. That might still be, it's closed, but it's still maybe lingering, or it's closed, but we're still detached or seeing it in some way. So there's an experience of the past that maybe we had that made us feel in a certain way that might have not have allowed us to feel maybe we were really lost, I feel like we might have been left to our own devices, having to navigate or having to figure out something. And so it might have been very scary or very not knowing one thing from another, and our environment seeming like it might have not felt supportive in some way or an experience. Okay, this is all like an experience. And maybe that ended, whatever that was, like I said. But then we never gained anything from that, or we felt it left us feeling like an experience we didn't like, or like this seems kind of barren, kind of dry, kind of not fulfilled in some way, without. And then there's like, after time, it turns into abandoned land where like debris comes in and this happens to be, I'm going to read it as like the mast of a ship. And so the mast of a ship would talk about travel and movement, but it's like, this is like abandoned here, like it's like rubble here, over time. Like it looks like this was like this, and then over time it got looking like that. So this is obviously talking about energy, and it's like maybe over time you were in an environment that wasn't producing, or that you had an experience and then you sat in that aftermath of it and it became your norm, or you weren't, what's the word? It's like now it's all tattered and tarnished, and now it's all full of the ramifications of a pent up thing. It's like cobwebs here in this energetic field that I have because of what I experienced that is preserved in some way here, you know? But Spirit is talking about maybe going beyond the current state of where you think you're at in that regard, because I think you're looking at it as it's already tarnished me, or I'm already full of all this stuff that's not ideal in some way. I know this isn't everyone's reading, and I will read this back because, or watch this back, because I don't know exactly what I'm channeling here, but it's very clear, the messaging. And so there's a part of us that's still trapped in the past energy, keeping it in that state, in which keeps alive the story. So this is almost like, okay, you can tie it back to this. If it's not your story, it's not your story, but it's like that in which I experienced is dictating the me. So a lot of times we identify with the victim story, and it doesn't have to be really a victim story so much, but it's an experience here that's resulted in a me that can't do this or won't do that, or is incapable of this or that, because for so long I was like this, and for so long after that experience I experienced this part of myself that only showed me to be this, the one that couldn't, that didn't have this, or that wasn't abundant, or that could not produce that, or it was in an environment that only proved to be this. Like, the universe proved to you to be a certain way for a long time until you really believed it, and it became your environment, and it's now preventing you. Because I feel like right now there's something right now that I don't see here, and for all of you guys is definitely different. It's requiring you to move towards it. It's requiring movement step by step. Okay, and you can do it. And I feel like it's absolutely magical here. But we might not be sure why we can't move forward, or we're just looking at our current state of what's not working, and looking at our reality as this is the state. It's beat up, or it's covered in all of this stuff that I can't undo. And it's like, no, let's go beyond that even. Let's go back to that experience and understand what might have happened then, and unpack some of that so that we can release and close off what needs to be closed, and sail it away goodbye. And then not attach to the energy of what has become me as that being your story and your identity. So that will take time to sever that tie to that identity. Because as long as we identify as all of those experiences led to this version of me, and this version of me is all that exists, then this version of me is the me that I identify with, and it doesn't allow for a new version of me. And that version of me that I know that exists, I don't think you like it. I feel it is limited. I feel like it doesn't allow its environment to produce. I feel like it feels a little barren. I feel like it feels a little let down. I feel like it feels by itself, and not very good. It's not abundant. It's not producing. It feels like it's lacking in some way here, you know? And so this might take navigating through deeper emotions. This might take really unpacking that part of that memory that we held in our minds that is believing it in that way that we experience it exactly like that. The resin card is coming to mind, which is Kim Krantz oracle, which is resin. It sort of solidifies a state, you know, in that pure state of which it was. And so we don't know when we energetically have something happen the reality of the situation. We only remember our experience, however we remembered it. And then in a future state, our memory plays tricks and we remember it in a way that might not necessarily be what actually happened or what's the actual truth. And so if we start to always look back on that memory with the same eyes of what we think it was, but it's so far from the truth, and that's the preserved memory that we house. And so I feel like there's something about your memory. There's something about that experience that needs to be unpacked, that might be different than what we've thought it was, or it could be exactly as we experienced it. But now coming back with our now body or now energy, it's not impacting us in the same way. I feel like that experience might have seemed very overwhelming, or like left to your own devices, or like a maze, or not knowing left from right, or feeling abandoned, or I don't know, you know, maybe feeling kind of cold or stuck or lost or needing a map. But we had a lot of transitions and a lot of phases and a lot of stages, and we never felt like we got there. But I feel like now when we unpack it, we know it was sort of more serene potentially, or I don't know, just see it differently, you know? Because I do feel like right now your present moment is calling you to take a step forward, to have movement. And if you could do this, then great. But if you're feeling stuck and you cannot, it's because of this that needs to sort of be unpacked here. Okay, beautiful angels, this is your reading. I know this wasn't everyone's. This is very different, very unique. I love you guys very much. I hope this helped you, and I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye.